Okay, so trade recap for today, Friday, 21st of August, 2026. So these are my screenshots that I took while I was analyzing the charts. So today I was looking for bullish prices. As I said here, looking for possible longs today. Price respects this bullish order block on Thursday. So this is Thursday's trading. Thursday trades into this bullish order block here that we had seen be respected before. So it trades into that order block and it closes off of it. So two main reasons as to why I was bullish. Number one is Thursday respecting this bullish order block. And number two is that it is a Friday and it's possible we've had a bearish week all through. So it's possible to have a retrace into the weekly range on a Friday. So bullish order block and Friday's trading. So those are what made me bullish for the day. Let's go to the next image. Okay, so on the 1 hour here, I noted that we did not really have any power of three on the day, right? So price just opens up from the morning from 12 a.m. and just begins to shoot higher immediately. This fair value gap here I'm annotating is the fair value gap from yesterday's trading, which is Thursday's trading. And it's basically this candle's low. Yeah, this candle's low to this candle's high. So this fair value gap here. And then we have the midway of the fair value gap, which is these dashed lines. So no power of three on the day, on the 1 hour. As we can see here, there's no power of three. So, like I said before, the week has been bearish. So, bullishness to close the week on Friday could be expected. Now, for where price could trade to intraday, I had this high annotated, this high, and these equal highs. But like I said here, could it reach these highs, these equal highs, EQH today? I'm not so certain, but if it does, okay. So I wasn't too, you know, these look like a very interesting possible reach, maybe even till next week, these equal highs here. But for today, I wasn't exactly sure if price was going to, not 100% certain of price trading to these highs. But this high, those were the two levels that I was okay or comfortable with price or expecting price to possibly trade to for the day. So the next image. So on the 15 minutes here, looking to see what price does at 9:30 7 a.m. to 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. does not trend. So this should be 7 a.m. here on this low, I believe, all the way to 9 a.m. here. So price is basically not trending, right? It's just in a consolidation. You can't really sell where it's trying to go. On NQ, I annotated the original low of the day. This should actually be this low. So my bad, I should have drawn my fib from this low. But anyway, I was just measuring the entire range of the day. I'm looking for where price could trade to in terms of premium and discounts. This is a discounts fair value gap here, order block, order block. So where price could trade to in the entire range before we then see a higher move, a move to the upside. This is an SNC here, but I wasn't really too concerned with it because it wasn't really in my bias. Although obviously it is an SMC, I need to take note of it. But it wasn't really something I was concerned with. I didn't think it was going to be that influential in prices direction for the day. So let's just look at the next image. So 9:30 here, 9:30 has closed here. So this is 9:30 close within the 15 minutes window. This is 9:30 close. So 9:30 close here, taking out a swing low to the left, this swing low, and also this low. Also making an SMT on NQ, we may see bullishness in price. So this SMT here, this SMT is very is important to me because not only does it make an SMT, but it makes the SMT below the open of the day. So you can see at the 3-day open, it makes the SMT below the open of the day. And then the SMT for ES is from this low to this high. So higher, higher, low, lower, lower, low. So NQ does make a huge drop, which is something to notice to note. So NQ on in the 15 minutes, 9:30 makes a crazy drop to the downside, but ES is not moving that much during 9:30, which is also why I decided to trade ES um, than NQ. So I went in long during the during from 10 o'clock, from 10 a.m. New York, based on this fair value gap here. So like I said here, long in this fair value gap, my stop was placed here. My take profit was based on price trading to this back up into this fair value gap that we have here from the 1 hour. So I was looking for price to trade back into this. So long here in this fair value gap, the reason why I'm trading or I decided to go long here is because this fair value gap that we can see here, this one, this is the fair value gap from the 4 hour time frame, which I did not take a screenshot of, I believe. But this is the 4 hour gap from the 4 hour, the fair value gap from the 4 hour time frame. And price does all of this mess and it respects it at the midway. So this was pretty important to me. It does this during the 9:45 to 10 a.m., the 15-minute window. So once price did all of that, I was watching to see if it was going to, break above the 9:45 high, which is this high right here. So the second price broke above that high. That was good enough for me to look for a fair value gap to trade off of. And we have that fair value gap from when this candle closes. So from this low to this high, break of structure or market structure shift. To be honest, this high was enough for me to even look for a trade, but because price also broke above this, that was, just more confirmation. But I didn't really need that. If it just broke above this high, made the fair value gap, I'd have gone long off of that. But we get this break here. I entered immediately, price traded into this candle, as you can see, just tapped into it. I just went long immediately off of that. And you can see that NQ is nowhere, close to breaking its own 9:45 high. It's really just trading, not as good as ES. The reason why I traded ES to NQ, well, obviously we have, this is the 9:45 of ES, but because price was making the SMT that was favoring ES, right? So ES was the leading index in the SMT, NQ was the lagging index. So this is my long position. As you can see, this is just some nasty thing. This is where my stop loss is. This is where my stop loss was or is or whatever. This is just some nasty thing that was going on here. Once again, remember this fair value gap, this purple box is the 4 hour fair value gap. So it just keeps respecting it, respecting, and then we get this immediate push to the upside within this 1 minute candle. I took a screenshot here. My partial was going to be at this level if price was able to break above that level. And I mean, you can just imagine this. You can just imagine what I was just looking at. I was at this point, I think on at this candle, because I saw price respect this fair value gap here from the 4 hour. I said, okay, then The second it closes in the fair value gap on this 1 minute candle, I just expected it to stop at the position here, but it does not do that. It's trades higher, and that was just it. So next, okay, next image. Okay, wrong image. So let us go to the actual. By the way, this was a loss, but we'll see what happens, what price did. But let's go to the actual trading view window. Okay. Um, okay, great. So this, let's go to the 1 minute. So this was the trade for the day. As you can see, price stopped out the position. This is where I went long. Turn this up now. So this is where I went long. Second price tapped into it. It's not exactly in the fair value gap. The width is, but because of spread, I wasn't putting immediately tapped in or the exact high of the fair value gap. But anyway, I went long on this candle, got stopped out here, bit of consolidation, then we get another push to the upside, which is just very beautiful. I mean, look at it. Just so convenient. Stopped out the position. Then it traced to my first partial where I would have, trade my stop loss to break even. And then this was my total take profit level and a very nice push into that 1 hour fair value gap that I annotated before. Hits the midway of that fair value gap, reverses completely, taps into equal highs here, trades lower, takes out these highs, and we close off the week. We close off the week just like that. So that was the trade for the day. Stops me out before it goes to my take profits. What could I have done better? I mean, I accepted the risk of the trade anyway. It is a demo account, but there is still the need, the want, or the desire to be correct, especially when it comes to actually placing the orders. Obviously, if I didn't place the orders and was just expecting bullish price action for the day, that would have definitely been a different feeling. But actually losing the trade that was placed is always different than in mere analysis. But anyway, that aside, I'll just do my own analysis after. But that was the trade for the day. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.